Super Meat Boy. Available on all modern platforms for $14.99. Originally released in October of 2010 for Xbox Live Arcade. It would go on to be released just about everywhere, and is actually based off a game made in Flash, simply called Meat Boy. In Super Meat Boy, you play as an anthropomorphic cube of meat. You run and jump and ricochet off walls, while trying to save your girlfriend from a fetus. Dr. Fetus, to be exact. And all the levels are just platforming challenges. One hit will kill you, but you have infinite tries. And when you beat a level, you have the option of watching all of your attempts all at once, which can be interesting to see how similar the attempts are. To an extent, you can actually decide on the level of difficulty the game will have. You can simply try to get to the end of each stage, or you can try to get the band-aids that are hidden in every level, oftentimes in places that will get you killed. You can also try to find the various warp levels. These you have a limited number of tries at, though you can go back to the level where you found the warp and re-enter it for another set of attempts. These warp areas can be interesting, as they change the style of gameplay, at least slightly. And if you finish them, they can unlock new characters to play as, that, much like the levels playing a little differently, these new characters will control a little differently than Meat Boy. Some of the characters unlocked are original characters, while others are characters from other games. This is all optional, of course, but it is interesting that if you're willing to put in a little more effort, you can find more rewards. The gameplay itself is best played as quickly as possible, as strangely the game becomes much harder when you take your time with situations. While platforming is the main star of the show, there are also boss fights at the end of each themed set of levels. But it would be disingenuous to really call these boss fights, as every boss is either a jumping puzzle or an endurance test. Which is not a complaint, as this game has one thing that it does well, and it's going to do it with as much variation as possible. Graphically, the game is relatively simple, perhaps owing to its Flash game roots. The music is fairly decent, however, when you're concentrating on playing, you probably won't notice it. I didn't. Overall, there is a fairly decent amount of content in this game that easily justifies its $15 price point. It is a game of hard platforming challenges. It will introduce a new kind of platforming, and then slowly amp up the difficulty until you have to master that style in order to progress. Then it will mix what you have just learned with everything else you've learned, until you become a master of all 2D platforming, or you just get really lucky. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.